I just recently got this minifigure lot in off of eBay. And in this video, I'm going to show you the entire process of opening up the package, sorting through what I got, and then I'm also going to show you the process of listing the items onto BrickLink and kind of get a breakdown of the profit that this lot is going to have. So the pictures on this lot were pretty good, so I had a pretty good idea of what I was getting. There were a bunch of city figures in here, but the lot was only $30, and I noticed multiple castle figures and multiple Ninjago figures, so I know I can definitely turn a profit. Regardless, a couple of figures that I was looking for were the Lloyd Skybound and then the Lloyd Techno Robe. If those are complete, I think those two figures alone will cover the cost of this lot, but there are several other, decent figures in here that I'm going to work on putting together. Here we have Cole from Hands of Time. We got one of the Shadow Royal Guards from Star Wars. Second one of those guys. We got a Jawa here. Alex from Minecraft, which is not worth very much money. This is a robber, I believe, from the old ninja theme. I don't think that's the correct head, though. I believe that head is from Dragon Knights. We got one of the characters from Nexo Knights. I'm not sure who that is. Here is an Iron Man. I'm not sure if this one is complete, because sometimes they need those little 1x1 round bricks on the feet. Let's see. This head is from Galaxy Squad. Here we have the body and head to one of the Fright Night figures. I do not see his helmet though, but we'll see if we come across that. We've got an old dark gray ninja. This is actually a figure that I would keep. These silver scabbards from Ninjago have gotten pretty expensive as of late. Got a couple other castle shields that I will be keeping. Let's see. Here's one of the good figures from the lot that I noticed. This is one of the Kingdom's Dragon Knights. Now, this is a figure that I'll be keeping, so he's not one of the ones that I'll be putting onto my BrickLink store. The head is pretty beat up, and one of the hands is broken, but the body of the figure looks to be in good shape. And his helmet is also here, so he is a complete figure. Here we have one of the Batmans. I'm not sure which one this is, but I don't think it's a very expensive figure, probably just a couple bucks. I don't know if this guy is complete, but that is one of the bad guys from Nexo Knights. I'm just going to use this cup to collect a bunch of these city figures. The city figures are some that I do not bother individually selling on BrickLink because they're not worth very much money. I tend to just do eBay auctions for these guys and just try to get like $1, $1.50 a figure if I can. Alright, so I have pulled out most of the city figures now. There's probably a couple more in the mix, but gotten a lot of those out of the lot. And there's several interesting pieces here. So this lot kind of has some like newer stuff and then some like really old stuff. So pretty big variety here. I believe that Skybound Lloyd is complete here with his hood. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the head or the hairpiece for the Techno Robe Lloyd. This is a pretty cool find. It's the body of the old 91st Phase 2 Trooper from Revenge of the Sith. Unfortunately, I don't think his helmet is in this lot. At least I haven't come across it. But the torso is still a cool find. We've got a Zane ZX body here with a Cole head. I'm not sure if his hood is in the lot. Here we have one of the Flame Troopers from the First Order. I think this guy's worth, a few bucks. We've got one of the Chima figures here. Not sure which guy this is. It might just be the main character, Laval or something like that. Here we have one of the clone pilots. I believe this is a decently expensive figure, maybe like $6 or $7. A few Dragon Knights shields from the old castle theme. Also the old dark gray helmet. Those are some nice pieces that I'll keep for my collection. Here we have 4 different like rebel figures from, I believe, one of the Star Wars battle packs. I'm not sure which like helmets and hairs that these guys need. I believe that this helmet does go to one of them, but I'll have to look on BrickLink and see what I need to complete those. Not sure if these are actual figures or not. These are also some that I'll need to look at. We've got a Joker body here, but no hair, I don't believe. I don't think that there's any complete CMFs, but it looks like we've got like the accessories to a few. We've got like a tiki mask and a sombrero, pinata, a couple cloth pieces too. I'll have to check and see the value on those, if they might be worth listing onto BrickLink. I'm not sure. This is actually a nice piece. This is the old Dragon Knight helmet, and it also has two yellow dragon plumes, which are each worth a few dollars. That is something I'll be keeping though. Here we have another CMF accessory. Definitely not the full figure for this guy, but this is his armor piece, so I can see if that's worth anything. Some of those CMF accessories are worth a decent bit. This is a Pearl Dark Gray kettle helmet, which, you know, most of the castle stuff I'm keeping, but that helmet is worth a decent bit, and there's some off-brand ones that are really close that I don't mind using for my personal collection. So I'll probably sell this helmet on BrickLink, honestly. No idea what this figure is from. It looks like the Scarecrow, but no idea what this guy needs to be a complete figure. Looks like we're going to end up with several partial figures here, which those I will probably just kind of set aside and either wait till I have pieces to complete them, or maybe I'll throw them into an eBay lot at some point. Mostly just concerned with finding any of the complete figures that I can. Alright, so I've done a bit more sorting here. We've got the Cup of City figures, some like figures from random themes that were incomplete, as well as some that I've kind of sorted out by theme. I like to kind of sort partial figures out by their general theme to make it easier to assemble them if I get all the complete pieces, or if I feel like just kind of throwing them into an eBay lot. It's good to have, you know, all the figures from the same theme. Here in the middle, we've got a bunch of different accessories and also some headgear pieces. This bottom row of figures is what I'm going to be trying to complete to list onto my BrickLink store. Well, I don't think these are going to be able to be completed, but this group of figures should be getting listed, as well as this cup full of accessories. And I'm also going to potentially complete and list one of these guys if I can. And then the city figures are some where I will give them all just like random headgears and throw them up onto an eBay auction. All right, so I've given all the city figures just some random headgear. I try to make it kind of match what the torso is, so, you know, it kind of makes sense. It's not just completely random. But I have, let me see, 10, 15, so I've got 18 city figures. So I value that at about roughly $18, because I can usually get right around $1 a figure, maybe a little more. Then we have these 9 complete figures, which I'll be adding to my BrickLink store alongside this set of accessories. We've got some Star Wars stuff, some castle stuff that I'll be keeping. We've also got some incomplete figures, some extra accessories, headgear, a few other partial figures. Those are some that will probably be sold at some point, but are being kept aside at the moment until they're either completed or until they get thrown into a random eBay lot. So next up, I'm going to, you know, check the condition of these figures and get them listed into my BrickLink store and see what the value adds up to being. First up, we've got Skybound Lloyd. So I checked this figure and he was in good condition. The average sold for the last 6 months is only $5, but at the moment, a lot of the Ninjago figures have been selling really well lately, and the cheapest available in the US in good condition is actually like $30. So I'm going to price him right there, just kind of match that seller for the lowest price in the US, and list him for $30. Next up, we've got Cole from Hands of Time. Now, unfortunately, his legs are in pretty rough shape, but the rest of the figure's in good condition, and I do have an extra pair of legs elsewhere. So I'm going to give him that good condition pair of legs. And in very good condition, he's currently selling on average for about $3. But again, the US supply for a lot of Ninjago figures is really low at the moment. And the cheapest you can find them is around 7 to 15. And I'm going to match kind of right in the middle of that with $10 for this figure. Alex has a lot of playwear on her head, and she's already a very inexpensive figure, so I'm actually not even going to bother listing her, and I'm just going to throw her into that random cup and probably put her in the eBay listing or something. Next up, we've got Batman. Now, this Batman only sells for about $2.25, but he is in very good condition, so I'm going to go ahead and list him at $3. I looked this guy up. This is Linux from Legends of Chima. He is only worth about $1.25, and he did have some playwear on him, so I'm not even going to bother listing that guy to BrickLink. So for Iron Man, unfortunately, he's not considered complete per BrickLink's standards because he's missing those 1x1 round bricks. But I am going to list his head to my BrickLink store because that head is worth about $3. Next, we have the two Shadow Guards from Star Wars. So these are two that I'm not going to be keeping for my own collection. They are selling for about $5 in the US, but both figures are in very good condition. Those capes are still nice and crisp. So I'm going to list those for $6 each. Next up, we've got this Jawa, who is selling on average for about $6. Unfortunately, the front of his torso does have a small crack. The rest of the figure is in pretty good shape though. So since he's got that crack in him, I'm going to list him at $5. All right, so now that I've got the minifigures listed to BrickLink and I've got those city figures set aside, I believe I'm at about $81 in value that I've gotten from this lot so far. Now I'm going to check out all of these pieces and see whether or not they're worth listing onto my BrickLink store or not. So I looked at all those different pieces, and most of them were worth at least, a couple dollars. The armor piece to that one CMF was not worth very much at all, so I did not add him. But I've got all these other parts in a brick store file, and I'm ready to add those into my BrickLink store. So as you can see here, for all those random little pieces, the total comes out to $26. So with that makes for a total of, I believe, $107 between the stuff that I added to the BrickLink store and the value I expect to get from those city figures on eBay. And I should also get some more value from some of those other figures that eventually will get thrown into eBay lots or, potentially completed. Plus, I also have all of the Castle and Star Wars that I'm going to be keeping for my personal collection. So overall, I would say that this lot was definitely worth buying. In all honesty, if I can sell this guy for $30, he alone pays for it, and then, I get to keep a bunch of stuff and have other inventory to sell. So overall, I think that was a very good lot, and that is going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching.